morning, everyone. This is a regular Commissioners Court meeting of Atascosa County on August 26, 2024 at 9 a.m. All commissioners are present. We have a quorum here, and the first item on the agenda will be the prayer and pledge of allegiance. Mr. Bowen.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for this beautiful day. We thank you for the rain, hopefully cooler temperatures. And Father, we just ask you to be with this court, give us good knowledge and wisdom this morning. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone. Glad to see a packed courtroom this morning. We kind of enjoy and appreciate y'all showing up. So, we have public comments next. If you have something to speak, this is the time to speak, and we will not be able to respond to you. There are other hearings throughout the agenda that we will be able to respond, but at this time, is there any public comments? Yes. Okay, we have Esmeralda Zapata, is that correct? Yes, sir. Okay, under public comments, you wish to speak, ma'am? Yes. Please come up here. And you have 5 minutes to speak. Yes, ma'am. Esmeralda Zapata, 5634 Forest Canyon.
Thank you, Judge. I'm here this morning to speak on behalf of my daughter, Vanessa, and my 2 great-grandchildren. They passed away in a mobile home in a fire on February 19, 2022. My 2 great-grandchildren, Mia and Ezekiel, were 2 of the most beautiful children that we missed so terribly. This fire happened in Blue Lily Drive in Van Army in Atascosa County on Sunday morning, somewhere between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. I'm here to speak on the need for a fire station in Van Army. Although there is one 8 minutes away in Bexar County. So I was told that the station is saying it never got called in the morning, so it was already too late. By the time of any of these volunteers' fire stations got to my children, it was already late. My children perished in a fire that I believe could have been prevented. If there was a fire station in Van Army, Atascosa County, my goals are here today to bring awareness that the people here in Van Army desperately need a fire station. So this does not happen to another family. Recently, I had to call EMS to my grandson who had COVID, and the heart rate was very high, and that it took almost 35 minutes for an ambulance to get to him. My grandson still lives out here in Van Army, in Atascosa County, and I have been an advocate for this county for it to happen really soon in near future, so that the type of medical and emergency can be met swiftly without no delay. I hope y'all understand how hard it is to be a mother and losing 3 children and bury 3 children in the same day. It was a nightmare for me. And I hope y'all understand how much I'm fighting for this. Not only just because my children died, but because I'm a voice just for everyone who's out there right now. And I heard so many stories that they don't have a fire station. I know that there was one in Rosemont, discovering this myself, doing all the research that I had to do. But I need to make you understand that this is very painful for me. But I'm glad that you're hearing me today to make a difference today for these people who need this fire station there. And I thank you all for listening to me. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Is there any other public comments this morning? Last call, public comments. Okay, the next item on the agenda is number 4. Teresa Carrasco, discuss or take appropriate action, conduct a public hearing to adopt the archive budget plan for 2025. At this time, it is 9:05 a.m. and the public hearing is in rest. Anybody wish to speak on the archive plan? Second call, anybody wish to speak on the archive plan? Last call. Okay, at this time, we close the public hearing at 9:05 a.m. and request the Commissioners Court to adopt the archive budget plan for 2025 in the amount of $254,000 as prescribed by the Local Government Code, Section 118.025G. Ad was placed in the local newspaper circulation on August the 14th, 2024.
Move for approval.
Motion made by Commissioner Gillespie,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Riley. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? That motion carries. Next item is myself, hold public hearing on the Atascosa County 2025 proposed budget pursuant to Texas Local Government Code, Section 111.007A. Public hearing at 9:06 is now open. I believe, Ms. Knowlton, you?
Oh, you got my name up there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I wasn't sure which one I was supposed to speak on.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm going to deliver you. We have our remarks in reference.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning. My name is Marion Knowlton, and I reside in Commissioner Precinct Number 2. My remarks this morning will center on the proposed salaries for top elected officials and their relation to property tax rate increases. I will be comparing the proposed 2025 salaries to 2023 actual. 3 of you gentlemen were elected in November of 2022, and all of you were sworn into office January 1, 2023. The 2023 budget had been proposed by the previous Commissioners Court. The significant increase in salaries occurred in the 2024 budget, which was formulated, presented, and voted upon by the 5 of you. The county judge in 2023 had a salary of $109,360.60. The proposed salary in 2025 is $125,600. This is a 14.849% increase, or $1,353.28 per month. The commissioners had salaries of $82,466.45 in 2023, and in 2025, the proposed salaries are $97,400. This is an 18% increase, or an increase of $1,244.42 per month. These raises are unconscionable, considering your taxpayers are experiencing an inflation rate of 8% at the end of 2022. In 2023, it was 4%, and so far this year, it is 2.9%. So cumulatively, for those two plus years, it is almost 15%. So effectively, you are compensating yourselves for more than the inflation rate on the backs of the taxpayers, most of whom are not receiving such pay increases. To add insult to injury, you are proposing a rate increase that, while less than the maximum you could impose without a vote, is above the NNR, or the no new revenue tax rate. This translates to a tax increase of 13.83% on the average homestead as published in the Pleasanton Express. Any relief the taxpayers had last year will be gone. I'm calling on the Commissioners Court at the very least to adopt the no new revenue tax rate and to maintain county salaries at the 2024 level. I would like to close with this. How did we get here? It is because of growing the government. In examining the budgets of the offices in Atascosa County, most have increased, and some quite dramatically. The Atascosa government is not living within its means as its citizens must do. The root of the problem is government spending. The more you want to spend on your line items, the more you are required to tax the citizens you claim to represent. Before you tell me that you need to grow government to handle the growth we are experiencing, let me tell you that in the past couple of decades, population growth plus inflation have grown 136%. Yet property taxes have grown in the same period 337%. The collection of property taxes far exceeds the growth of the counties. You are taxing us more than the growth justifies, and a good portion appears to be going in your pockets. County government is too big and growing faster than is warranted. Because of elected officials like you, Texas ranks third highest in local government debt, behind Texas and California, who are number 1 and 2. Texas has already approximately $460 billion in local debt. Elected officials are already Californiaing Texas. We're looking at about $15,000 to $20,000 owed to local governments by every single Texas citizen, and that's just the local debt. For Atascosa citizens, I suggest you remember these officials who continue to increase your debt. Call them, let them know how you feel about them. Hold them accountable now and at the ballot box. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Knowlton. Next is Gary Worth. Is it Worth?
Yes.
Yes. Good morning, sir. It is 9:11 a.m.
Okay, thank you. I'm Gary Worth. I'm speaking as a retired senior citizen and on a fixed income. But as a former general manager for over 30 years, I certainly understand the need to cover expenses and increase costs. But what I learned as a manager was to control expenses in tough times. And this is a tough time. I might suggest that you defer this increase until a time that might be better. This is certainly not a good time right now. I'm going to say some things that is not new to you. Everyone's aware of it. This is an election year, putting a lot of people not at ease. Inflation is at a high level, high poverty level for many people, especially seniors. Uncertain times, high crime, rising costs, and world conflict in the Middle East. These are what are on people's minds. And so rising costs is really going to push them over the top. I mean, it's tough. Like many others in the county, I'm on a fixed income and we are retired, but we spend money in the county. We go to restaurants, we buy our food here, we buy our gas in the county, and we know that your sales tax has increased. I looked at the numbers, and it's increasing because more people are moving into the county. When we looked 3 years ago to buy a house, we told our agent we wanted someplace where the rates were low. First thing she said, don't go to Bear County, too high. So we ended up down here, and we're glad we made that move. But as these rise, if we were to do it again, I'm not sure how we would do it. And most of the sales tax has increased because of the people, like I said, have come in here. And you want that because if we looked at the budget, you're putting more money into rural urban development, which is what you want. But property taxes may change that. I just happened to look at the news last night as I was writing some notes down, and the headline news for, actually on Fox News, was Idaho leading the nation. They had 60,000 purchase contracts canceled, 16% of their home sales. So my wife said, well, look up Texas, which I did. We're just slightly behind, 56,000 canceled contracts, and that's 15% of our home sales. So and the reason that was cited in this was the election year and higher costs for people to buy a home, their property taxes, their other expenses. So I just caution you on the timing. Recently, Governor Abbott expressed the need to lower Texas property taxes. And it seems that this increase that you're proposing is kind of opposite direction. I looked at my little portion of the budget there, and I just broke out the Atascosa part, not the water districts, the school districts, and everything else. And we have a rate of 0.4097, and your proposed rate is 0.4845. That represents an 18% increase of that Atascosa part. This is a large increase considering that CPI, the Consumer Price Index, is only 2.9. So you're certainly more than covering inflation. So I'm just wondering, why is the need for such an increase? Maybe it's not the best time. And just because you can get it, maybe it's not the best time to do it. You maybe need to look at doing this. And perhaps waiting is a little bit better. I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Worth. Next, we have Brian, is it Loisberg? Good morning, sir. It's 9:15 a.m.
Good morning, gentlemen. I'm a fairly new resident to the county of Atascosa, and I'm glad to be. Bought property here in 2018, and then bought my residence in 2022. Between that time, I was a Bexar County resident. One of the reasons I moved to Atascosa County was primarily to be closer to my family, who's longtime residents. My daughter married one of them, and I'm glad to be here. But I'm concerned about the percentages of increase. I don't have a lot of information here other than some that's been brought to my attention in the recent days. And I figured, well, if you don't get up and speak, you can't expect to change. So I just wanted to come before you and say, please take a closer look at the increases that are proposed in these salaries, and let's see them try to become a little bit more in check with, in my opinion, as well as a number of others, the cost of living as opposed to an excess in government spending. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, sir. Number 4, Jeannie Israel. Good morning. It's 9:17 a.m.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Jeannie Israel. I live in Pleasanton, Texas. I'm part of Precinct 4, and I am here this morning to comment on the budget. Specifically, I am concerned looking at it with the previous promises of reducing taxes and having smaller government, when I see, in fact, that we have 2 positions that I can see that will be growing and costing even more for the county. One would be HR department. I understand the focus on that. I can see that there's a number of things that the Atascosa County Judge's Office handles that having an HR department will help assist him, could help assist him in his duties. And then I saw also that there's been a project manager added for the EDC under the county judge's office. And I know that that's a growth right there. And I realize the end result in a number of years, not the next 2 years, would be the hope that we are reaching out to show that the county is in business and attracting new businesses. I am familiar with that. I have been a past representative for the city council in Pleasanton, Texas, and I understand that also is what we were doing and probably continuing to do. And I have heard comments as such that the city should not be into development. In fact, government shouldn't be into development. But in fact, that's what I'm concerned about, that's what's going on here. And that just continues to expand costs. There's quite an increase, over I think right around $150,000 in the county judge's office itself. And a lot of those costs are not going to go down. And I don't know where we're going to find the promises to reduce the taxes, even after we do attract the developments that y'all would like to see here. I would like you to consider to hold the budget at the place that it was last year, or at least the salaries of elected officials where they were last year, and consider not growing the government anymore. And to, however, I'm really excited at some of the changes that have gone on in the county, and I'm appreciative of those particular things. We've needed them for a long time. But overall, it's not a budget that I'm thrilled with, especially after hearing the county's comments considering surrounding cities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there anybody else wish to speak on the proposed budget for 2025? Ma'am, did you wish to speak? Do you wish to speak on the proposed budget for 2025 in public comments? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Okay. Would you like to come forward and speak on the budget? Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Susan Peace. I've resided in this,
Just a minute, let me ask you. Susan, is it Peace?
yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. It is 9:21 a.m. You may speak.
I'm so sorry. I've resided in this county as a youth, and then when I married, I moved out, and then in 2003, moved back. I've watched the county without stepping up to speak very much for 20 of the last years, and I am rather frustrated to see the budget going up so much at this point. No, I don't get involved in the county politics as much as I should, but my salary hasn't gone up. I live on retirement and on disability. And I'm concerned that as all of these other costs go up and my costs don't go up, where am I going to go other than giving up where I live to be able to make those payments?
Yes, ma'am.
Because our taxes are going to have to go up to cover these costs. Not that you're attempting to hurt us, but there's got to be ways to make sure that we don't increase beyond what we have to. Hold salaries to what retirees are given, 1% raise. If you do that, that will cut a significant amount. And that's what, when I was working, I would get a 1% to 2% raise per year, no matter what the cost of living was. And we managed to do with what we had. So I would like to see us as a county looking at government just to step forward very cautiously to make sure that the increases are absolutely essential and that we are taking care of those. Because I'm fortunate, I have a place to live, but I don't know for how long as they keep raising my taxes. And then I'll be in government housing, which is even worse as far as a strain on the community. I don't want that to happen, but I don't see where else I'm going to go if they raise my property taxes much more. And where else are they going to get money from? No offense. Thank you for your patience, and I'm not here to be ugly. I'm here just to say we can't raise it as much as it's been raised. We need to bring it back down 1 or 2% up, and then try to find ways if we can. I appreciate your patience, and thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Does anyone else wish to speak on the public hearing on the 2025 budget? I'm sorry? Anybody? Last call. Okay. Mr. Vasquez, would you put on the screen so we can answer a couple of questions here that we... So this is the public hearing, the public notice that went in the paper for the hearing. If you'll notice that the budget did increase by $2.5 million, which is 8.4152% increase of the budget. Of that amount, $549,000 is the tax revenue to be raised off this year's roll. So when you go ahead to the next page. So if you look at 2020 all the way to 2025, from 2020 to 2020 was the largest increase over time. I'm sorry, 2023 was the largest increase of time in taxes. And you'll see the increase in the budget. And you'll see that we're less than 0.8% increase. This is total funds. This is all the budgets combined, the grant money, the shared money with the districts and everything. So we had less than 0.8% increase in the total budget, which is about I'm going to use round numbers, around $600,000. We generated $542,000 of new funds off new revenue. When that new revenue is the new tax base that we have. I'm talking about new houses, new property, new buildings, new companies that come in. That's the money we generated. So it's almost a wash. My challenge to the auditor was we want to keep the same tax rate. That's the first thing we start off when we did with the budget. I put this budget together in my lifetime, 24 years now. And I can tell you, we worked diligently hard to come to that point. Now, is it an increase over the new revenue rate? Yes, it is. But we held it. So the value, the increase in this county is based off the value of your real estate, not our tax rate. We don't set values. We set the tax rate. The tax rate is set and adopted by this court. The values is done by the appraisal district. And the appraisal district has an ARB, which I believe, Ms. Knowlton, you're vice chair, correct?
Correct.
So ARB, they are the ones who establish value that bring to us that we set the rate on. So if the value goes up, we kept the rate the same. We didn't raise our rate. So that's what we're doing. If you go to the next page, please. These are the key components to this $87 million budget. It reflects a net change of 7 positions. 2 positions were eliminated and 9 were added, so net of 7 positions. If you look at the bottom down there, the eliminated positions were from the treasurer's office and the constable's office, and the new added positions were 2 to the sheriff's office, 2 to the HR positions, and incidentally, we have 418 employees on the average. And we've looked at this, and we have not established it yet, but we're going to budget for it. We added 1 for the county permitting officer. We're getting left and right bombarded with driveway permits, water line permits, and we can't get them all done fast enough within time. IT support, again, we're having to catch up with everything. Animal control, we added 1 there. Youth service center, a post teacher, and the economic development director / project manager. That will be announced and talked about in the state of the county on October the 24th. And please, everybody, please come and attend, because I think that's going to be an enlightening for the future here. So these are the added positions. You'll see that we gave a $200 a month pay raise for all employees and elected officials. Some that works out to 1.8%, some that works out to up to 5.6%. The salary adjustments, so there were a few positions that were aligned to retain quality people and to come in line with their peers in other counties. We established a new human resource department to ease the treasurer's workload and enhance employee policy management. There are some things that we have to watch closer and closer, including workers' comp and comp time, and we need to program for that, and I want to be able to help the treasurer with all we can. It's really not her duty. She's been doing it all along, and again, we have not established it yet, but we're budgeting for it. The reserve funds, we put additional funds aside for the medical examiner's operation to ensure financial stability for the first year. That's going to come online sometime in the next 2 years, probably 1.5 years, I believe, Ms. Goss, don't you think? That we hope so. Based on those circumstances, we need to be able to operate for it, so we budgeted for it. And then we're also planning to add additions to the office administration side of the jail and the tax office, consisting of between 5,000 and 6,000 square foot, and the funding will be paid for out of cash reserve, not taking on any debt. So this county will not go, and we will not have any more debt out of this budget. Actually, we're reducing the debt. If you'll go back to the previous page, I believe, Justin. And you'll see we've reduced the debt from the last 5 years about $6 million. So overall, the county is healthy. During COVID session, it got down to $700,000 in the bank. We're projecting to have around $12 million in the bank. We don't want to be a bank. We're not here to take taxpayer money aside. We're here to take it, manage it the best we can. I want to thank this Commissioner's Court for working diligently with us, and I want to thank the auditor for all the extra time. We put a lot of effort into this budget. So if anybody have any questions after this, comments?
I do.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Yes, ma'am. Please come up here.
so you're saying that you had the same tax rate as you did last year,
That's correct. Yes, ma'am.
Did
We
we
haven't
have,
adopted it yet, but that's our plan.
do we have a no new revenue tax rate?
The no new revenue tax rate, yes, ma'am?
Well, you says your proposed tax rate is 0.482888.
That's the current budget, current tax rate of today, and that's our proposed tax rate now.
The no new revenue tax rate is 0.454573.
That's correct.
So you're higher than the no new revenue.
Our tax rate's the same. We generate that off the value set by the appraisal district.
Understand, but what happens is, what governments do is they prepare their budgets, they get their valuations, and then they decide what their tax rate has to be to get the amount of money they need to run the government. You're still increasing the size of our government, you're still increasing your salaries, and if you adopted the no new revenue tax rate, it would be lower, wouldn't it? I mean,
That's
doesn't
correct.
that make
We also have the right to go up to 0.54 cents, which I told,
Oh, I understand, but that would have to be with a vote.
over 5.4, we require a vote.
Yeah, so I'm saying, in this day and in this current economic climate, most of these people that have testified are telling you that you're too high, your government's too big, and you can look at these numbers and, we can all look at numbers and juggle them. But the fact is, you're proposing a higher tax rate, and we should be at a no new revenue tax rate.
No, ma'am, we're not proposing a higher tax rate. Values went up in the county. And
Okay,
you're
then-
set on the board that handles the values. I don't.
No,
Yes, ma'am.
I only hear protests. I don't handle-
understand. And if the people don't protest, then you can't hear that.
I know, but we're off on.
The
we're
values
off on
come from the
everything.
appraisal review board.
Pardon me?
And the appraisal district and the appraisal review board set the values. You hear the
Yes, we hear
protest.
the protests and we can make decisions on protests.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going down a rabbit hole here. The point is, we can adopt a no new revenue tax rate, which would be lower than what you are proposing. And that would help the citizens who you represent in this county. That's my point. And I think all of you should be looking at it. You've heard from people that are suffering, and your new tax rate, you're growing government. If you look at that slide you had, all those new positions, and how many did you eliminate, 2 or 3, and how many did you add? And do we really need that today? That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am?
I have to say something about the budget, okay? Because
I'm sorry.
I want to say something about your budget.
Sure.
I don't know how this works out with y'all.
Please state your name for the record.
Esmeralda Zapata.
Okay.
But I'm here, like I said, to assess this fire station here. I don't know how y'all budget this situation, but somehow, there's got to be a breakthrough, right? Some changes got to happen, right? How you handle the budget. I don't know whether it's going to be higher or what, but you also know that y'all can get help from the state. And I know those things because I've been doing my research on that. So I don't know what it is going to take for y'all to get that help, but I'm here to help you, or whatever I need to do to help you to get where you have to get. Because I know you're a small county, I live in San Antonio, but I'm here to help y'all too. It's whatever you all need to do, so I can be, I've been an advocate for Atascosa. I don't live in Atascosa, but I want to speak for Atascosa, the people there for Atascosa. I know that I heard stories that they were taking money from the services they were from Jordan, because the taxes are raising up for Atascosa people by using the Jordan services. I don't know where you all stand with that, but also you have Atascosa people that they have to have a change on that too. They got to be aware of those situations. That good things happen when you make a mind change and let them know that this is for the good, So we all have to face someday that we have to pay and we have to do rise of taxes, what we need to do to accomplish the city, So all I have to say is that I just want information is where you're at with that.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak on the public hearing this morning? Yes, sir. And it's Mr. Worth, right?
Takes a little while
Yes.
to get moving, sorry.
Yes, sir.
Gary Worth, and I understand you set the tax rate, and the value of the home is what generates the sale. Are you aware that housing prices are dropping?
They didn't drop at the value this year. Some
Yeah,
did.
they are dropping. They're dropping in values. Our home,
we don't have anything to do with values.
I know you don't, but I'm just saying that you're basing that off of home values, and if home values are dropping, then your tax rate is going down. You're going down in what you're gonna generate in taxes. 3 years ago, when we bought, if you didn't buy a house when it first came on the market, you didn't get it. Today, there's, they call it a subdivision, our little area, there's at least 6 homes that are just sitting on the market or have been withdrawn because they can't sell. So you need to look at that, because you're gonna get down to a point, you're gonna go, oh, wait, we don't have enough revenue. What do we do now to raise more money?
Mr. Worth, when the values go down, the offset revenue, the tax rate goes up.
Correct, right. So, okay,
So we kept it the same.
all right.
Anybody else wish to speak on the public hearing this morning on the 2025 budget? Okay, it is 9:36 a.m. and I declare the public hearing closed. Next item we have is to hold a public hearing on the proposed tax rate for 2024. It is 9:36 a.m. and the public hearing is open. Anybody wish to speak on the tax rate for 2024? Last call, anybody wish to speak on the tax rate for 2024? Okay, I declare the public hearing closed on the tax rate. Need to go back to, back to the item before, discuss or take appropriate action on any necessary changes in the proposed budget. I don't believe we had anything that y'all know of, do we?
That was on item number 5.
Yeah, item 5. Okay, if we don't have anything, then we'll go back to, now, number 6, discuss or take appropriate action on any necessary changes to the 2024 tax rate. Does anybody wish to make any changes to that as proposed? Okay, no action taken there. Next item, number 7, hold a public hearing on salaries, expenses, and allowances that are proposed to be increased for elected county and precinct officers in Atascosa County for 2025 Atascosa County budget. The notice was published in the local newspaper for 2 weeks on August 14th, 2024 and August 21st, 2024, pursuant to local government code section 152013B. It is 9:37 a.m. and that public hearing is now open. Anybody wish to speak on the salaries? Second, yes, ma'am. Ms. Knowlton? Yes. Yes, ma'am. It is 9:38 a.m.
I just want to reiterate to y'all that from the time that you took office in 2023 to the 2025 budget, the county judge's salary has gone up almost 15%, and the commissioner's 18%. How you can look your constituents in the eye, and with those increases, yeah, I'm not your constituent, but how you can look them in the eye, it is amazing to me. Because even though you say our tax rate stays the same, if the values go up, the revenue changes. So it's really not the same, and it's apples and oranges. So I just want to remind the people of that, the increases that you all are receiving. Thank you.
Anybody else wish to speak on the salaries? Last call. Yes, ma'am. Please state your name again. Yes, ma'am. It is
I'm
9:39 a.m.
I'm raising the awareness about the revenue. I know that for a fact that y'all builders, new subdivisions coming in to Atascosa. So my question is that, where are y'all at with that? Where's the revenue coming in from those houses that are coming, builders that are coming in? Why are you not giving revenue out of those subdivisions that are coming in? Because I know they're coming in. And where are we standing again with a fire station? And we have them accountable for them to pay for those services, since they're the builders. All I can say is that maybe you can get the money from them.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Last call. Anybody wish to speak on the public hearing on salaries? It's Susan Peace, correct? Yes, ma'am. It is 9:40 a.m.
I spoke this point before, but this is a more appropriate spot to speak it. If most of the community is managing with 1% to 2% raises, I would like to see the same raises being given in the county so that we're basically all suffering the same. The 10 to 15% increase is more than what, it's less than inflation actually, yes, I agree. But it's more than what anyone else is able to obtain in the private sector. And I've worked in the county, I worked in Brazoria County and I worked in Williamson County. I know what county payrolls are like. I retired after 30 years, but having worked in the county, I understand. But in those times when I worked for the county, I never got a 10% pay raise. I got 1 to 2%, not even annually, but occasionally. I would get a merit pay raise of 1 to 2%, but I earned that just as you guys earn yours. I'm not saying you don't earn yours. You work really hard. I totally understand that, but so did I. I think maybe that might be something we might consider a change on. Thank you for your patience.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ms. Peace. Last call. Is anybody wish to speak on the salary? Okay, it is 9:41 a.m. and I declare the public hearing closed. Discuss or take appropriate action to set salaries, expenses, allowances. Anybody wish to make any changes to this? Okay. Item number 8, Tracy Barrera. Discuss or take appropriate action on adopting the Atascosa County 2025 budget by record vote pursuant to Texas Local Government Code, Section 111.008A. Good morning. You ready? Okay. On the proposed, sorry, my computer's gone here. To adopt the budget, we need a motion.
Your Honor, I move that the Atascosa County 2025 budget be adopted as presented.
We have a motion made by Commissioner Gillespie, seconded by Commissioner Pettis. Is there any further discussion? All right, by record call, I vote aye. Commissioner Gillespie?
Aye.
Commissioner Bowen?
Aye.
Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Riley?
Aye.
All voting aye, unanimously carries. Second, discuss or take appropriate action to ratify the property tax increase, raising more revenue reflected in the Atascosa 2025 budget, Atascosa County 2025 budget, pursuant to Texas Local Government Code, Section 111.008C. We need a motion.
I move that the Atascosa County Commissioners Court ratify a property tax increase reflected in the 2025 budget.
Motion made by Commissioner Gillespie,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Riley. Is there any further discussion? I vote aye. Commissioner Gillespie?
Aye.
Commissioner Bowen?
Aye.
Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Riley?
Aye.
All voting aye, unanimously carries. Next item, discuss or take appropriate action on adopting the 2024 tax rate of 0.383761 for the Atascosa County General Fund by record vote. Need a motion?
I move that the Atascosa County 2024 general property tax rate be set and adopted at 0.383761.
Motion made by Commissioner Gillespie. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Pettis. Is there any further discussion? I vote aye. Commissioner Gillespie?
Aye.
Commissioner Bowen?
Aye.
Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Riley?
Aye.
All voting aye, unanimously carries. Next, discuss to take appropriate action to adopt the 2024 tax rate of 0.074150 on the Atascosa County lateral road by record vote. Is there a motion?
Your Honor, I move that the Atascosa County 2024 farm to market and lateral road property tax rate be set and adopted at 0.074150.
Motion made by Commissioner Gillespie,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Riley. Is there any further discussion? I vote aye. Commissioner Gillespie?
Aye.
Commissioner Bowen?
Aye.
Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Riley?
Aye.
All voting aye, unanimously carries. Next item, discuss or take appropriate action to adopting the 2024 tax rate of 0.024977 for Atascosa County debt rate by record vote.
Your Honor, I move that the Atascosa County 2024 debt service, interest, and seeking property tax rate be set and adopted at 0.024977.
Motion made by Commissioner Gillespie,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Riley. Is there any further discussion? I vote aye. Commissioner Riley? I'm sorry, Commissioner Gillespie?
Aye.
Commissioner Bowen?
Aye.
Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Riley?
Aye.
All voting aye, unanimously carries. Discuss or take appropriate action on adopting the 2024 total tax rate and keeping it the same of .0482888 for Atascosa County by record vote.
Your Honor, I move that the 2024 property tax rate of Atascosa County be set and adopted of a tax rate of 0.482888.
Motion made by Commissioner Gillespie,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Riley. Is there any further discussion? I vote aye. Commissioner Gillespie?
Aye.
Commissioner Bowen?
Aye.
Commissioner Pettis? And Commissioner Riley?
Aye.
All voting aye, motion carries unanimously. All right. Yes, ma'am.
On number 7, on the,
On number 7?
on number 7, I'm sorry. Can we go back to the discussion and take appropriate action? We need to set those salaries for
Okay, I thought that
the
was
elected
changed.
officials.
Okay. So we need to discuss or take appropriate action, to set salaries, expenses, allowances for elected county officials and precinct officers of Atascosa County for the budget beginning year January 1, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2025 pursuant to local government code section 152.013A. Motion. Motion made by Commissioner Gillespie.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Riley. Is there any further discussion? Do we need a record vote on that? Okay, I vote aye. Commissioner Gillespie?
Aye.
Commissioner Bowen?
Aye.
Commissioner Pettis? And Commissioner Riley?
Aye.
All voting aye, motion carries unanimously. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, the next item we have, number 9, myself and Assistant County Attorney Trent Rao discuss or take appropriate action pursuant to Texas Health and Safety Code, Section 775.015, calling for a public hearing at 9 a.m. on September 9th, 2024, in the regular Commissioners Court meeting regarding the petition filed for the creation of Atascosa County Emergency Services District Number 2 and calling for placing the matter on the ballot in the November 24 election. Good morning, Mr. Rao.
Good morning, Judge. This is regarding the creation of the Atascosa County Emergency Service District Number 2 that's in the Lytle area. No, sorry, that was number 1. That's what I had in my mind. But anyway, that's in precinct, it's split between Precinct 2 and Precinct 1. We've done one of these before in the Lytle area, and so the petition has come in. The election officer has reviewed it. It meets with the qualifications. This is the next session after that, so what the court needs to do is accept that petition and set it for public hearing on September the 9th, so then we can also hear any comments, but also set it for the election date in November. And I would report to the court that all prerequisites have been met, and this, I would recommend the court accept that and that set this for public hearing on September the 9th. We will publish notice in the newspaper for the required amount of time and have that hearing, and then it will be set on the ballot, and there will be an order signed by the court to set that on the ballot for that date. We have some representatives here from the new service district if you have any questions. And but again, we've gone down this road before. It was a easy thing before, and so we're here to do this new service district.
Judge, Commissioner,
Good morning.
thank you all for having us this morning. My name is Chris Lopez. Most of you I know personally, and good to see you. We definitely support the creation of Atascosa County ESD number 2. It would include the service districts for Lemming Fire Department, Attleboro Fire Department, and Poteet Fire Department. We have been in discussions internally for a number of years in order to basically professionalize, for lack of a better term, the fire and rescue services within Atascosa County. I'll tell you that personally, I believe that we do have professionals that are out there fighting our fires every single day. When that pager goes off, our troops are going out there and they're doing the work that needs to be done for our county. The only thing that we're not getting enough support on, and it's through nobody's fault, it's just the way it's been done for so long in the volunteer fire service, is the funding. And with that, we do have a gap with training. We do have a gap with our, if you look at year, I mean, really, from the top down, as far as the volunteer fire department, especially with the growth that we've had within our county, it's really hard for us to keep up with all of the requirements that are put on us with the funding that we have. Again, we at the Poteet Fire Department, we do receive some help from the city of Poteet. We receive our stipends from the county, which we do appreciate. And we would also request that if it passes in November, that we would continue to have our stipend until the ESD board would get their first draw from the tax revenue that's generated, so that they could take that part over for the financial piece. Typically, that's the way other jurisdictions do it. I'm very familiar with the process. As most of you know, where my full-time job is, I've been working in this arena for the last 20 years. And I appreciate y'all's support on this. I know that basically y'all are just making the decision to allow our voters and y'all's constituents within these areas to decide in November whether or not they want to do it. And that's a pretty simple thing to do, but I believe that it's what we need to do as a county, and maybe Chief, you have anything to say?
I agree with all that. You know, we need some more assistance through our Lauren also in our areas to be able to give adequate response and quick response and stuff at that time.
Anybody else?
I agree, the same thing. On the volunteer side, it's getting harder and harder to get volunteers. Nobody wants to do nothing for free no more. And the areas aren't getting bigger, but the population is. And it just costs so much to buy the equipment that we need to keep these trucks and the personnel protected. I'm grateful for what the county's given us now. When I started 16 years ago, we were getting hardly anything, and it has gotten so much better. But this day and time, it's just tough. And ESD wasn't something that I thought we would ever do, but at this day and time, I don't think we have a choice. It's the sign of the times, and it's what we got to do.
We know it's not going to happen overnight. We know it's going to take a little time. I've been in the fire service for a little while, quite a while. So, you know, things are growing, and like Lauren said, it's hard, man, to get the volunteers. You know, everybody works, and you don't know what your manpower is. So we want to try to establish some for sure manpower, at least a couple, and just slowly build as we go on. And I think it's going to work out good for us.
Okay.
Our calls have increased in the last 5 years, probably doubled. I'm not certain exactly the amount, but I assume in the next 5 years that will double again. And our volunteers have not doubled at all.
Okay, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Gillespie.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Bowen.
Your Honor, before we vote on it, I just want to say thank you to you guys. Y'all all do an outstanding job. I know that every day y'all face a battle that you don't know what's going to bring, and you're doing it out of the kindness of your hearts. And to me, that means a lot, okay? So I just want to express that to you here in the flesh. Thank you for what y'all do.
We appreciate y'all.
Very much so, very much so.
Same here.
Judge, can I say something? I do want to appreciate Mr. Lopez. They're here at the time when my children passed away. And thank you, guys. It is hard with me right now. These men try to do what they could do. But we don't want more losses families. We need to make sure that we hear these men out. That they need the equipment, they need the power, manpower to do these things that happen, to make this people's lives change the way that my life did not change. Now I don't get to talk to my children. I don't get to see them. I don't get to eat with them. So listen to me. Like, I'm a mother. I lost 3 of them. It's hard. But they only can do what they can do. So y'all need to help them out and really listen to this, because this is helping a bunch of people. y'all gonna make an effect to many lives. This is not just a few lives, many lives that are coming and future to come. Glad to see. Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? That motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Mr. Rowell, I guess you'll get everything prepared? Okay. Next item, number 10, Jeff Chacon, discuss or take appropriate action to approve the Jordan 1909 Association request to use the county property behind the annex for small business Saturday on November the 30th, 2024, and the Founder's Day during the third weekend in May 2025. Good morning, Mr. Chacon.
Oh, how you doing? Back again, Jeff Chacon, President of the 1909 Association, amongst other things I do. I'm just coming forward, the commissioners, again, to ask for permission, and again, I saw there's a thing about maybe adding on the tax office. I don't know what that will have effect in the future. But the first event's a small business Saturday. It's our 4th year of doing it. It'd be Saturday, November 30th. I'm hoping the Texas A&M game is late in the evening. I think it's set for 7. But that's to be our free event. Again, Santa will be on there. We'll have kids events. And again, fire department's gonna be doing hamburgers. So it's a good free for the community, and all we're asking is for use behind the tax office in the parking lot area. Again, we do purchase $1 million insurance to cover if something were to happen. So, and then the third weekend in May is our Founder's Day. Again, the fire department is connected with us doing their cook-off. Again, free event. We try to get a lot of people in this room that helped us out over the years. It'd be our 4th event for that one. It'd be a third weekend in May on that one. So I'm just asking for permission to use the facilities.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Gillespie, seconded by Commissioner Riley. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? That motion carries.
Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all's.
Number 11, Veronica Sanchez with Camino Real. Discuss and take appropriate action to approve the presentation of the Atascosa County local match commitment requirements for Camino Real Community Service for fiscal year 2025 and approval of the same. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. I'm actually not Veronica Sanchez. I'm Deanne Poppy. I'm the Director of Mental Health Services for Camino Real. And we are just here to ask the county for your continued support. Camino Real provides intellectual and developmental disability services. We provide early childhood intervention services to babies 0 to 3 years old who have disabilities. And then we also provide mental health services and substance abuse services to the constituents of your county. From September 1, 2023 to May 31 of 2024, we served over 1,700 residents of your county. And you have that in a report that is attached to your packets that you received. Camino Real receives general revenue funding from Texas Health and Human Services. And because of that, we are required to have match requirements from our sponsoring counties. Atascosa County has a match requirement of $121,505, and the county meets that requirement through the building that our Atascosa County Mental Health Advisory Board owns. And so the value of that building is $145,782. And so the county has also in the past given money to the advisory board for the maintenance of that building. I believe $20,000 is $22,500. Okay, I'm sorry. Too many counties to remember, but $22,500. And so we are just asking for your continued support of that.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Gillespie. Seconded by Commissioner Bowen. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? That motion carries.
Right.
Thank you,
sir.
ma'am. We appreciate it. Okay, we've been here an hour. We're going to take a short 5-minute break, and we'll come back in a few minutes. We're going to recess at 9:59 a.m. Okay, it is now 10:05 a.m. We're back from recess and back into our regular meeting. Item number 12 is Audrey Gossett Lewis, our district attorney, discuss and take appropriate action concerning personnel. Existing employee Renee Gade Williams, position administrative assistant from temporary part-time. Pay rate be $36,100 annually. Salary budget area is 047-400-404. Start date would be August 26, 2024, and physical drug tests are completed. Good morning.
Good morning. I ask that you, we had a position open, someone had to leave due to illness, and so we have someone who was working temporarily that we're now hiring permanently. She's been a good hand, so.
Motion made by Commissioner Pettis and seconded by Commissioner Riley. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? That motion carries. Next is new employee Cynthia Pavelic, temporary part-time, pay rate $20 per hour, salary budget area DA, Rural Law Enforcement Grant, Senate Bill 22-141-400-406. Start date will be September 3rd, 2024, and the physical and drug tests are pending.
Yes, I ask that y'all approve. This is the temporary position that Renee was in, will be filled by Cynthia, and I apologize to Teresa for stealing her part-time employee.
We have motion?
We're still friends.
Motion made by Commissioner Riley. Seconded by Commissioner Gillespie. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? That motion carries.
Thank y'all very much. Good to see y'all.
Okay, item number 13, Sarah Reen, discuss or take appropriate action concerning personnel. New employee Jared Martinez, position to be a kennel tech, pay rate to be $36,000 annually, salary budget area 012-478-404. Start date will be 9/10/24, and physical and drug tests are complete.
Judge, she asked if I'd present for her. They had a lot going on out there, and they're short-staffed, so.
We have a motion? Motion made by Commissioner Riley. Seconded by Commissioner Bowen. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? That motion carries. And the next one is a new employee, Mariano Rodriguez, position kennel tech, $36,000 annually, salary budget area 012-478-404. Start date will be September 5th, 2024, and physical and drug tests are complete. Motion made by Commissioner Riley. Seconded by Commissioner Pettis. Any further discussion? All those in favor? That motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Item number 14, Loretta Holly, discuss or take appropriate action concerning personnel. New employee, Christina Beavers, position tax office deputy clerk, pay rate to be $40,000 annually, salary budget area 012-444-402. Start date will be September 9, 2024, and physical and drug tests are pending. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, I had two positions for several months open and wanting to hire these two people. And just FYI, Ms. Beavers has completed her drug test.
Motion made by Commissioner Pettis. Seconded by Commissioner Bowen. Any further discussion? All those in favor? That motion carries.
Thank you.
Did you have two of them?
Yes.
Okay, we got the other one. New employee Tristan Shannon, position tax office deputy clerk, pay rate will be $40,000 annually, salary budget area 012-444-402. Start date will be September 16th, 2024, and the physical drug tests are pending. Is that correct?
Move for approval.
Motion made by Commissioner Gillespie. Seconded by Commissioner Bowens. Any further discussion? All those in favor? That motion carries. Thank you, ma'am. Number 15, Fire Marshal Ronald Sanchez, discuss or take appropriate action concerning approval to adopt an order restricting outdoor burning, the burn ban, effective August 26, 2024, for a period of 60 days until October 26, 2024, and allow the fire marshal to end the burn ban without returning to Commissioner's Court for approval when the fire marshal determines that the circumstances presented in the unincorporated areas of the county to no longer create a public safety hazard or would be executed by outdoor burning. Good morning, Chief. Yes, sir.
I use that word as much as I can. That's the word of the day.
Word of the day. All right. I assume you want to put it effective today, and you want to hold it for 60 days unless you determine at that point.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We got some rain last night, but it was just a drop in the bucket. With the wind, dried everything out pretty quick, and we're at dangerous levels right now. I highly advise that we enact burn ban.
Motion made by Commissioner Pettis, seconded by Commissioner Gillespie. Is there any further discussion?
Your Honor, if I may.
Sure.
Chief Sanchez, if you don't mind, can you explain to the public where they can find the information?
We'll be posting it on our Fire Marshal's Emergency Management Facebook page today, and we ask that everyone share that. And we'll be also be in contact with the Pleasanton Express and ask them to help spread the word.
Throughout the time where it's not been in a burn ban, there's been advisory days where you would suggest from the state, I'm assuming, that
Yes,
it's not
sir.
a good day to burn. And you can also, even though that's away from this moment we're going into, but you can find that information on your Facebook page as well.
Yes, sir. Every morning before 7, around 7:30ish, we post a recommendation. But this will no longer be a recommendation. This will be a burn ban.
Right. And
In effect.
Yes, that depends on y'all, sir. If it's a,
I just wanted to state that for the public because a lot of people have a hard time finding that information.
Yes, sir.
And I just want to make it available for them, so thank you.
Yes, sir. We ask everyone to help us too by sharing this information.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Riley.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
There's already a motion.
Oh, we already have a motion. Okay, apologize for that.
Ms. Barrera has a question.
Oh, sure.
I have a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
On the county lines, do our poles have burn ban in place? Do you,
Bear County is currently under a burn ban right now. And if Wilson County isn't, they will be very shortly because they've been having some significant fires.
okay,
How about the flip down signs
Yeah,
on the
that's-
county line?
Those will be done today.
okay. Thank you.
And a question, who monitors that? The fire departments or you?
I'll answer it for them, because I do know that the fire departments, it's up to their responsibility to get the signs flipped down or raised back up. Once we go into a burn ban, that's when they get permission to do it. The chief can reach out to them if he chooses to, but
Oh, yeah.
those fire departments are aware of the burn ban, so it's their responsibility on all the signs on our border to flip down.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor? That motion carries.
I think the one in 281's already down because a man who lives there on 281 jumped me the other day and said, how come the sign's down and we're not under a burn ban? I said, we will be Monday. He was like, oh, okay.
Tell them to put it back up.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge. Thank you, Commissioners.
Number 16, Kathy Sider, discuss and take appropriate action to approve the joint election contract if received between Atascosa County and the City of Christine, City of Jordan, Jordan ISD, Somerset ISD, and the City of Charlotte. Good morning, Ms. Sider.
Good morning, gentlemen. We have received back the City of Christine, City of Jordanton, Somerset ID, and the City of Charlotte contracts. Jordanton ISD will be canceling.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Riley.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Bowens. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries. Item 17, Kathy Sider, discuss and take appropriate action to approve the notice of election and to place the notice in the Pleasant Express newspaper. Ms. Sider?
We have the November election coming up. We need to get the order of election out there. I would just like permission to get it published and put out to the public.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Pettis, seconded by Commissioner Riley. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? That motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Number 18, Treasurer Laura Pavelik, discuss or take appropriate action to approve the change from monthly to biweekly pay periods starting October 2024. Employees would be paid every 2 weeks. This change with the new payroll period software system, a notice with the new pay dates will be included with the September 15th paychecks. Good morning, Ms. Treasurer, Ms. Pavelik.
Yes,
Sorry.
we are diligently working on getting the new FI software system in, which will allow us to go to 2 pay periods. And rather than put it in and just do one and then have to change again, we're working on, it's just as easy to get it implemented at the time we implement the new software system. So as it stands right now, we are asking that you approve us moving from one pay period to biweekly, every 2 weeks. And I have left a list of pay periods. This is subject to change if we should have any implementation problems, but something will go out to the employees explaining it, and I think they will be happy with this once we get it implemented.
Motion made by Commissioner Pettis, seconded by Commissioner Bowen. Is there any further discussion? I want to compliment you on this. I think it's a undertaking task that you've taken on, and I appreciate this, and I think over time it'll be very much appreciated.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? That motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Pavilic. Number 19, EMS Director Courtney Greer, discuss and take appropriate action concerning personnel. New employee Christopher Vasquez, position PRN paramedic. Pay rate is $20 per hour. Salary budget area is 041-400-518. Start date will be August 27th, 24, and physical drug tests are complete. Good morning, Ms. Greer.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Yes, sir, we made some personnel changes to our roster, which opened up spots for both of these gentlemen coming on. They both did well on their interviews, passed all their entry exams, and they're happy and ready to come on.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Gillespie, seconded by Commissioner Riley. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries. Next is new employee Brian Borrego, position PRN EMT. Pay rate will be $12.60 per hour. Salary budget area is 041-400-518. Start date will be 8/27/2024. Physical drug tests are pending. Ms. Greer.
Same as before, except his physical and drug tests are complete.
Motion made by Commissioner Pettis. Seconded by Commissioner Riley. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you, ma'am. Number 20, Rural Development Coordinator Brittany Van Curren, discussion to take appropriate action concerning A, conduct a public hearing, another public hearing?
Yeah.
Conduct a public hearing concerning replat of lots 7, 8, and 9 in the Windmill Ranchette subdivision on County Road 329 in Precinct 3. It is 10:17 a.m. and the public hearing is now open. Does anybody wish to speak in reference to this item on the agenda? Second call, anybody wish to speak on Windmill Ranchette subdivision? And last call. Okay, I declare 10:17 also the public hearing is closed. Item B, discuss and take appropriate action for the approval or denial of replats lots 7, 8, 9 in the Windmill Ranchette subdivision on County Road 329 in Precinct 3. Good morning, Ms. Van Curren.
They are just doing a replat on this to correct some of the lot lines as requested by the original developer. This was missed during the first go-round with this subdivision, so it's just a correction.
Motion made by Commissioner Pettis. Seconded by Commissioner Riley. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries. Item number 21, Brittany Van Curren, discuss and take appropriate action, approval, denial of the CAPS addition subdivision on private road Havens Lane in Precinct 3. Ms. Van Curren?
Yes, sir, this is just a simple one lot split out of a larger piece, and it's met all the requirements of my office.
Motion made by Commissioner Pettis. Seconded by Commissioner Bowen. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? That motion carries. Okay, item number 22, Brittany Van Curren, discuss and take appropriate action on A, concerning the approval or denial of adopting the practice of preliminary plats and final plats effective September 1, 2024. Ms. Van Curren?
Yes, sir. So in 22, I believe it was, the subdivision committee went away from preliminary final plats and just went directly to a final plat system, as we have seen in counties around us. In the course of that time, we have noticed that there are things that could be more efficiently handled if we went back to a preliminary and final plat scenario. So that is what is before you today.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Gillespie. Seconded by Commissioner Pettis. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries. Item B, concerning the approval or denial of update the subdivision fee schedule to reflect the updated fees for preliminary plats and final plats effective September 1, 2024. Ms. Van Kuren?
Yes, sir, this is just updating the fee schedule to reflect the new system of preliminary and final plats.
Motion made by Commissioner Gillespie.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Bowen. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries. Item C, concerning the approval, denial of updates to 7.8 of the Atascosa County subdivision rules and regulations, updating the requirements for fiscal surety effective September 1, 2024. Ms. Van Kuren?
Yes, sir, we're just clarifying some of the verbiage as far as the fiscal surety goes with, in regards to road construction, updating that when a developer opts to go directly to a final plat, and then also offering a sort of incentive, if you will, if they go the preliminary route.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Gillespie. Seconded by Commissioner Pettis. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries. Item D, concerning the approval or denial of the changes to Atascosa County subdivision rules and regulations prohibiting the creation of private roads in any new development in Atascosa County effective immediately. When you say immediately, is that a date? Do we have it like?
Today.
Today, okay.
Today.
Van Kuren.
The thinking behind this, we are starting to see, and have seen for quite some time, that subdivisions that are created with a private road, we, the county, have absolutely no authority to hold the residents to the upkeep of that road. It is up to each individual resident to keep the construction good in their section of the road. And that is not something that we have any authority to enforce, and it's becoming a safety hazard across the entire county. We have several different roads in this county that emergency vehicles just cannot get down. They are not passable. And ultimately, that falls to the residents. Yes, they can bring it up to county standards and petition the court to take it over, but the way our policy reads, they have to bring it up to county standards in order for that to happen. And that's just not something that a lot of our residents can do. So we're trying to get ahead of the game, if you will, and avoid any further subdivisions in the county being created with private roads. If we have a circumstance in the future that, for example, a gated community, wants to come in, something along those lines, that can be something that can be discussed on a case-by-case basis. But on the whole, what we're seeing is that these private roads are actually harming our residents going into the future. So that is why the subdivision committee is bringing this before you today.
So if in the event we had a gated community wanting to be developed, they would have to bring it in for
A variance, for lack of better terms,
variance,
yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
And it would have to be approved in court at
Yes,
that
sir.
point.
Absolutely.
It's not a discussion of your office, it's a matter of the commissioners being acknowledged.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Move for approval.
Motion made by Commissioner Gillespie.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Bowen. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries. Item E, concerning the approval, denial of updating section 4.3 of the subdivision rules and regulations to require that all applications for exceptions to the subdivision rules and regulations be approved by the Commissioners Court effective immediately. Ms. Van Kuren.
Yes, sir. Again, that effective immediately. It goes into effect today. This is the section of the subdivision regulations that allows for the state mandated exceptions to the regulations. So these are the family divisions of land, the 10+ acre exemptions, the ag exemptions, the different exemptions that are in place on a state level. The way that our regulations currently read, they have to file paperwork in the county clerk's office in order to claim that exception. It is something that they had the option to come before Commissioners Court to claim a certificate of exception before filing the paperwork in the county clerk's office. But we are changing that so that they all have to come before Commissioners Court, so that you all are aware and have that knowledge of what is occurring with these different divisions.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Riley. Seconded by Commissioner Pettis. Is there any further discussion? One of the things I talked to Ms. Van Kuren about is this is very critical that we see what comes through and approve the exceptions, because if we don't, we're going to get ourselves spanked somewhere and it's going to hurt us. So I think it's a smart move. And is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries. And the last item is F, concerning the approval denial of updating the subdivision rules and regulations to reflect Atascosa County rural development as part of the point of contact for all development in Atascosa County, along with other minor verbiage corrections immediately. effective immediately. Ms. Van Kuren?
Yes, sir. So there were just several different instances through the regulations where we've now created the Rural Development Department. So we're just updating the verbiage to reflect that my office is the point of contact. My office is the starting point for sketch plans or anything along those lines. Obviously, we can definitely have a meeting with a commissioner if that is something that's wanted by a developer, but we are just correcting the verbiage to show that it does start with my office.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Gillespie,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Riley. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Again, that motion carries.
Your Honor, if I may interrupt real
Sure.
quick. I just want to make a statement that on 22F, which is the one that we just approved, thank you for that, everyone. I know that in today's litigation of what's going to happen and why is it happening, this is one of the ones that is happening, and it's happening for a good reason. Example of, you have 4 commissioners, you got 4 precincts. If someone makes a phone call to me, I'm going to give them a different direction to go than what one of the other commissioners are. And we have a big bowl of spaghetti. No one knows what we've got. We've turned it into something that nobody wants to move to. So therefore, we have developed this department. It's rocking and rolling. It's working great. And it's a one-man show to say, if you need a phone, if you call me, I'm going to direct you to the Rural Development Department so that you get the same answers at the same time, every time. It's not going to be a, well, he told me this, well, he told me that. This is just making everything so much more clear, and that's just for the acknowledgement of those who weren't sure of why or how. So thank you for everyone involved to make this a cleaner work in progress.
Thank you.
Works much better.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's another thing. We added another position to your office for this coming year to handle some of these things that's going to come across to us. And it's part of growth. It's part of the circuit. I don't like it no more than anybody else does, but we got to be able to be prepared for it. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Number 23, Sheriff Soward. Discuss or take appropriate action concerning personnel. Existing employee Jonathan Kurtz, position deputy sheriff. Pay rate moved to tier 1 at $58,000 annually with $124 uniform allowance, $175 holiday pay, 171 fluctuating hours. Continue the one-year agency probation. Salary budget there is 012-440-410. Start date of this will be September 1, 2024. Physical and drug tests are not applicable.
Good morning, gentlemen. Deputy Kurtz is coming off of his 90-day probationary period, and we just want to move him up to Tier 1 salary effective September 1st.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Gillespie. Seconded by Commissioner Pettis. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? That motion carries. Next is new employee Alfonso Solis, corrections officer. It'd be a tier 3 at $47,000 annually, 171 hours fluctuating, $120 uniform allowance, $150 holiday pay, 90-day county probation, 1-year agency probation. The salary budget there would be 012-442-562. Start date will be September 3rd, 2024, and the physical and drug tests are pending.
Yes, I've hired Alfonso Solis as a correction officer. The Tier 3 salary and benefits stated in the agenda. Contingent on his physical and drug test results, which are pending, and a start date will be September 3rd.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Riley.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Bowen. Any further discussion? All those in favor? That motion carries. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Number 24, Commissioner Gillespie, discuss or take appropriate action concerning personnel. New employee Thomas Villalobos Jr. Position will be a CDL driver with tanker endorsement and operator. Pay rate is $46,000 annually at a 40-hour work week. Salary budget area is 021-400-402. Start date will be August 26th of 2024, and the physical and drug tests are complete. Commissioner?
Thank you, Your Honor. I've been needing another CDL driver with this tanker endorsement, and I've been blessed enough to have one come looking for a job, so I'm going to try to grab him up. I'll move for approval.
Motion made by Commissioner Gillespie. Seconded by Commissioner Bowens. Any further discussion? All those in favor? That motion carries. Thank you, sir. Number 25, Commissioner Pettis, discuss or take appropriate action concerning personnel. Existing employee Esteban Hernandez Jr., position be road crew member with the Texas CDL, completed 90-day probation. The pay rate will be $48,000 annually. Salary budget area is 023-400-402. Start date would be August 26, 2024, and the physical and drug tests are not applicable. Good morning, Commissioner.
Thank you, Judge. Esteban is has a Class CDL license with all the endorsements and has been working for us for the 90 days, doing a good job, so I'd like to move him up to the 48,000.
Can you make that motion?
Yes, sir.
Motion made by Commissioner Pettis. Seconded by Commissioner Riley. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? That motion carries. Thank you, sir. We're going to skip number 26 until after we come out of executive session, and we'll go back and address it at that time. There's some stuff we need to discuss about and take over. So at this time, it is 10:30 a.m. We will recess from regular session into executive session under Texas Government Code 551071, 551074, to discuss personnel and other matters with the county attorney's office.